Hi, good morning. It's Dr. Denny over at Four Paws at Fulshire Veterinary Clinic. And today, Maddie and I are going to chat a little bit about what to do if your dog is losing weight. So, Maddie's going to go ahead and start us off with some questions.
How does weight loss affect the health and well-being of my pet?
So, being at an appropriate weight means that our body has enough energy and fuel to maintain your weight. Being at a healthy weight means that our immune system has the support it needs in case there's an infection going on. Being at an appropriate weight means that we have good muscle in our joints to support our bones. So being at a healthy weight is part of being healthy, just like in humans.
What can cause weight loss in my dog?
So there's a lot, that's a long list, but we're going to kind of just do a brief little talk about that. So we can have certain metabolic diseases where maybe the body isn't absorbing as much food, if there's liver or kidney dysfunction. Infectious diseases can also cause weight loss, particularly like parasitism. So if your dog has roundworms, hookworms, whipworms, etc., those intestinal parasites can steal nutrients from the body and cause weight loss. Inflammatory diseases like autoimmune, so inflammatory bowel disease like IBS, food sensitivities. There's a lot of things that can cause weight loss in our pets.
What medical issues can cause weight loss in my pet?
So I think, we touched on it a little bit, but any disturbance in your metabolism or your organ function, or if you've got infection, inflammation, or autoimmune, can really affect your dog or cat's weight. So if you notice that they're dropping weight despite not doing anything different, then you do need to go ahead and get them seen, because early intervention is key. If we wait too long and they drop below what's considered a healthy body condition score and they get sick, like if something is making them lose weight and then all of a sudden they reach a tipping point, sometimes it can be catastrophic. So we really do need to be noticing if weight trends in our pets.
How do I know if my dog is too skinny?
So if you can easily palpate the hip bones, the ribs, if you can see the middle bone on the top of their head, the bridge of the spine of their scapula, like we shouldn't be able to palpate every nook and cranny or feel every nook and cranny on the dog. And this is going to be especially important for our dogs that have a little bit of a thicker coat. So our Australian Shepherds, our Poodles, our Doodle mixes, it may look like they're have an adequate weight, but you should be putting hands on your dog. And if you notice that, hey, we're definitely more bony than we should be, we really need to go ahead and make an appointment and get them seen.
Why is early intervention of weight loss so important?
Because if we don't catch things until the dog is emaciated or at such a low body condition score that they're just skin and bones, the dogs can get critically ill. I mean, anything could tip them over. Unfortunately, we had a patient recently that was extremely skinny and got a stomach bug and came in shock. And if this dog had an adequate body condition score, this dog would have been able to kind of weather the storm a little better instead of just collapsing. So catching these things is so important. And a lot of it's education. This specific family had a lot going on. The dog is fluffy. Had off and on GI symptoms, and they didn't realize that he'd gotten that skinny until, he got really sick.
How soon should I call my vet if my dog is experiencing weight loss?
So I think early intervention is more important than not, okay? Weight loss can be a really chronic, long, ongoing process. The problem is if you wait until the animal is skin and bones, we may not be able to gain the weight back, especially if we have some kind of chronic disease going on, liver disease, kidney failure. There's a host of reasons. But once that weight is lost, it's not just fat, it's muscle, it's I mean, it's protein in the body. And if we don't catch that until they're super, super skinny, it becomes a much harder battle to not only fix whatever caused the weight loss in the beginning, but then address the damage that's been done when chronic weight loss has been allowed to continue for too long. So I hope this helped kind of scratch the surface on why it's so important to make sure that your dog is at a healthy weight. And if you're noticing that your dog has been losing weight, please make an appointment and bring them in. There's so many diseases. I think one I forgot was diabetes. I mean, there's so many diseases that can cause this, that sticking your head in the sand and thinking that it's not a big deal until it is not going to be the best course of action, because then we're having to spend a lot more financial resources, and we have to get your dog back to what they were, and it's a much harder battle than you would think. Thanks, guys.